There's an old curiosity shop. Every once in a while I go by there for the fond recollections that lie there in that old curiosity shop.
Sweet lassie, so cunning, Scotchy dear, I will never forget the first day we met. I said I love you and you said love me too. It's pretty Scotchy, Scotchy. I'm lonely, so lonely, say the word. Now please do. We'll bagpipes play in the wedding glide. We'll hopscotch off when the knot is tied. Scotchy, Scotchy, I love you.
Well, hi everybody, it's Scott from the Old Curiosity Shop, and I'm back. I know, but I'm back. I've missed you. It's time for another thrift haul, so let's dive right in and see what's what. I was really excited a couple of days ago to buy this for $1.50, and I actually found this in a Goodwill shop, and it's a Delft tile. It's called the cloisonne pattern because it does resemble cloisonne. Of course it's not cloisonne, but it does have that look to it. You can clearly see on the back, it's marked Delft, including the year 1932. Now this tile wasn't meant for a fireplace surround. It's purely decorative. It has holes where it would have been hung, and these were made in the 1920s and 30s. This one probably about 30, 35. It's in really good shape. There's a frog, a flower frog. I don't know that people really use flower frogs anymore, but I can't help but pick them up when I see them. 1930s. And this one clearly would glow under a black light. So it's pretty common that the green glass from the 30s had uranium in it. Not all of it does, but quite a bit of it does. It's not rare. But some people do just collect uranium glass because they do display it with black lights. Let's move on to this little guy right here. He's all by himself. But I'll tell you, if they were trying to get me to give up salt in my diet, this would do it. Because I'm not into clowns, and this guy's creepy. He has a kind of a dead fish look. You know, in cartoons, every time there's a dead fish, they sort of always give them those X's for eyeballs. He's Japan. I don't know what he's worth. Not much. That's not worth much either, so. But they were cheap. Let's see. Here's the quintessential high school and college graduation gift. This would have been part of a much larger desk set. This is the envelope holder with an onyx base. These were really popular in the 1930s and 40s. You could go to a fine jewelry store and pick up a Parker pen set and get a nice desk set as well. So you could have also had a, let's see, a letter opener, a clock, probably a little calendar, an ink blotter, maybe a letter opener, And but this is all I could find out of this set. It's still nice. I haven't looked this guy up yet. I have a feel, well, it's a planter. It's unmarked, so it's probably, it could be American made. And it's pottery, crazed on the inside, no big deal. It's not chipped or cracked anywhere, and I mainly picked it up because it's unusual and I've never really seen one with a pixie or an elf on the inside. Kind of really weird that he is completely white. He might have been cold painted red and black at one time, and perhaps somebody washed the paint off. I didn't look this up, but it wouldn't surprise me if I searched for this and found an example of this with a painted elf. Could be. All right, back there is a gravy boat. Sail on up here, gravy boat. It's a pretty pattern. I buy gravy boats and butter dishes because you know, there's only one in a dinner set, and once Uncle Henry breaks the gravy boat, well, you know, then you have to have another one. So here it is. Somebody out there has this pattern and they need the gravy boat. It's Windsor ware, made in England by Johnson Brothers, and it is called Margaret Rose. My best guess would be that the pattern is named after Princess Margaret Rose. Might not have been, but it probably was. All right, oops, did I move too fast? Sorry. Here's a dresser tray, unmarked, could be American made. It's pretty heavy, so I think it's ceramic instead of porcelain. No big deal. Hand painted though, and nicely done. Can you see that it's hand painted? You can tell it's not a decal, it doesn't have all the little dots. And it's also signed right there, Quinn. And that's probably the woman who painted it. This might have been painted at home. It was quite a cottage industry at one time for women to paint blanks, but it could also be factory made. And it dates to about 1910, 1915, 1920. See if I can get about 20 bucks out of it. I think I told you that's worth 30. That's probably worth 2 or 3 bucks. 2 or 3 bucks. I don't know, maybe 8 bucks on that. I'm really not sure. This planter here, I'll see if I can get 12 bucks out of it because it's somewhat unusual. That I'm just going to let sit online for 20 bucks or so. It could sell in a week. It might take a year to sell it. Here is a piece of cherry blossom. Let's see, that is Jeanette, I think. Depression glass, of course, and this is about 1932 through 1938. There's the cherry blossom. Oh, that's the cat. And the cat has already been fed, and you're not getting any more until you... See, he licks the gravy off, and then he doesn't want to eat what's left in his dish. So he's making himself known right now. What was I going to tell you? Probably 15 bucks on that. We'll see. Anchor hocking, sandwich pattern. Two little, they could be handleless punch cups, custard cups, berry bowls, whatever you want. And the two of these are probably worth 5 to 8 bucks each. Anchor hocking made this forest green color in the 1940s, and it was quite popular. There are 2 more anchor hocking pieces back there. Not a lot of value with these. I like to save them and put a whole grouping together around Christmas time. They're vases, they're mid-century, late 40s into the 50s. One in ruby red. Very popular. There's a lot of these floating around. You see them all the time. Let's see, that is also anchor hocking. Moonstone. You know, I think moonstone is a really undervalued pattern. Had a lot of popularity in the late 40s into the 50s. And I find this all the time, but usually only in single pieces. It's heavy stuff. It's not expensive. So if you like it, buy it and use it. There's a lot of it out there. And it just doesn't seem to have a great deal of interest or value. But if you've never seen a table full of it under candlelight, you're missing something. It's pretty stuff. 6 cups and saucers, also depression glass from the 1930s. And I forget, it's either Colonial Block or Block Optic or Colonial Knife and Fork. I don't think it's Colonial Knife and Fork. I think it's Block Optic. It's either Hazel Atlas or Anchor Hocking. I used to have all these patterns memorized, and anyway, not a lot of value here. How many times have I said not a lot of value? Keep saying that. I usually don't buy it when I see individual pieces, but I did find all 6 cups and saucers. I think I paid $4, $3.99 for the 6 of them. But really with an online auction, I would be lucky if I could get 20 bucks for all of it. And I really don't want to wrap it and ship it. So I'll probably hold on to this. This will probably be a springtime item, flea market item. We all know the Pyrex refrigerator dishes, so there's no need to go into any detail with that. There's a hair receiver. It is unmarked as well, so it could be American made. It might not be. Let's get some better light going here. A lot of detail. It's nicely done, but I don't know, ladies, do you comb your hair at night and pull the scraps out of your brushes and save it in jars like this anymore? I bet you don't. So you could stick an incense in there. Probably 1910, 1915 again, from that era. Back there is a kitchen canister, glass kitchen canister. Probably Anchor Hocking. I didn't look this one up either. Good grief. I'm not doing very well, am I, right now, with my dates and names and things. That probably early 30s Hocking glass. And it's got its lid, which is really hard to get out of there. I'm not even gonna... there's not much to grab a hold of. Can you see that? So I can't even pull it out with one hand, but trust me, it's got its glass lid. That used to be a really hot collectible. Here's a Noritake nut dish, hand painted in luster, probably dates from the 1920s. I've seen a lot of examples of this, and since it's hand painted, there are many variations of it in color and style and technique. I'll let you see the Noritake mark on the bottom. Noritake. Did I say Noritake? Noritake, hand painted, made in Japan. And it's really super that there are no chips on his little ears or his little tail. So that's a nice piece right there, and I'm gonna see if I can squeeze 20 or 30 bucks out of that. Did I get everything? Let me back up. Okay, Mr. Salem. Salem the cat, yes. We hear you. Let's see, what did I forget? Oh, the sheet music. I did pick up the old Curiosity Shop. That's the original 1938 composition, the one that I used for my theme song. And I just got it like the day before yesterday. I did sight read it. I didn't sound too horrible, but I'm not ready to play it for you until I practice it a little bit more. 1938 in the key of C. This it's not terribly difficult, but you know, the sheet music from that era isn't extremely easy to play either. My skills are pretty rusty, but I'm going to work that up and maybe record my own version of my theme song. So I shall back up and let you see everything again. Okay, this is Scott from the Old Curiosity Shop saying thanks for watching and so long for now.